A source for excellence. That's the emphasis for the men and women proudly serving their staff and their citizens.
It's not us that are standing in this room that's the future of law enforcement. We can equip our officers and our employees on how to be successful in this new world of law enforcement that we're about to delve into.
The International Association of Chiefs of Police 2022 annual Conference and Exposition brings together thousands of the best in blue to network, engage and advance their knowledge and careers. And IACP TV is here to cover it all on this thrilling third day from Dallas. I'm Stephen Horn, taking you through all things IACP 2022. Today we hit the hub. IACP TV takes a trip around the exposition hall as more than 600 vendors showcase products and services to assist law enforcement professionals.
When you participate in a section or a committee or in a division, you're giving back to those that are in your profession as well and making it better for all of us.
And speaking of assisting law enforcement professionals, we speak about all the different involvement opportunities for members to get engaged. Plus, we take you to the friendly skies to see how airport officials right here at DFW Airport keep their 75 million passengers safe each year.
We are counselors, mentors. If somebody needs medical assistance, we're there to assist with that. I mean, you name it and it happens out here.
There's a lot to cover and we want to make sure you never miss a beat. You can always find the latest IACP TV episode right here on the TVs displayed throughout the convention center, on the homepage of the IACP meeting website, back in your hotel rooms on the in-house IACP TV channel. And don't forget to check us out on your shuttle bus ride to and from the convention center. Plus, you can always find us on our YouTube channel or Twitter feed. To get us started today, we say hello to the Hub. This year, IACP is thrilled to welcome more than 600 vendors here to the exhibition hall, all showcasing products and services to assist law enforcement professionals. Let's see what they've got to offer.
Welcome to the Hub, IACP's booth, right here in the middle of the expo hall. Here at the booth, you're going to find a number of IACP resources, including our Quick Hits, which are 20-minute presentations about various IACP products and resources. You'll also find representatives from our staff for our CRITAC projects, IACP Net, and IACP Learn, so you can learn more about the services we offer through there. We also are offering professional development opportunities, including mock interviews and resume reviews. And finally, if you're looking to get a professional headshot, those will be offered in the Hub on Monday afternoon and Tuesday. Finally, we also have additional resources in IACP Central located in Lobby D. There you'll be able to download a number of our electronic resources as well as talk to staff and answer any questions that you might have. We hope to see you in the Hub and we hope you have a great conference.
Two of the most high-profile airports in the US, Reagan National and Washington Dulles. Let's check in with the agency responsible for keeping all the politicians, dignitaries and diplomats safe.
The Airports Authority Police Department is responsible for the safety and security of Ronald Reagan National and Dulles International Airports. We're also responsible for the Dulles Toll Road and the Dulles Access Highway. Our staff do a combination of police work and security work, and this is the primary mission that the police department has, is to work within the security environment to ensure a safe and enjoyable travel environment.
So as a young agency, we have a tremendous amount of growth potential. We police two major airports and they are constantly growing, constantly expanding, which means as the airports grow, the police departments have to grow with it. There will be a lot of opportunities for young officers in this agency.
Keeping our eye right on the sky, here in Dallas, Texas, the 220 plus officers at DFW Airport say no 2 days are ever the same, as they protect the 75 million passengers who pass through each year. Let's hop on board.
I'm Officer Garcia with DFW Airport Police.
My name is Jason Byers. I'm one of the assistant police chiefs here at DFW Airport.
I'm Sergeant Cole, assigned to the patrol division.
My name is John Taylor, Chief of Police at DFW Airport.
We patrol an area larger than the island of Manhattan.
I know we have the title of police officer, but we're a lot more than that.
My role is ever constantly changing. That's what makes it so exciting.
My name is Assistant Chief Mark Hamilton, and I'm in charge of special operations.
We train a lot. We train a lot for the things that we'll have to do, not the things that we necessarily do on a daily basis, but we have to be ready. We are one of those big targets inside the metropolitan area.
You never know what the day may bring. You gotta stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
How far you progress here depends on you as an officer, how hard you're willing to work and where you want to go, because you will have that opportunity.
Sticking with our theme of transportation, when you travel, your safety is our business. That's the motto of Maryland's Transportation Authority Police. We take a look at how they're keeping travelers safe.
The areas of expertise for the Maryland Transportation Authority Police are very unique. Our mission is to provide safety, security, and service in partnership with the community to those who use and work on MDTA facilities and other transportation assets throughout the state of Maryland.
When you travel, your safety is our business. That means to me, it is our mission, it is our goal to make sure the roadways are as safe as possible.
The MDTA police on the state level, we participate in the Zero Death Maryland campaign. We want to eventually get it to the point where there are no serious bodily injury or fatalities on Maryland roadways.
We are focused on the needs of the community while they are utilizing our transportation infrastructures. We want the traveling public to feel confident that all divisions within the Maryland Transportation Authority Police are working diligently to keep them safe.
When you travel, your safety is our business. That's our mission. That's why we exist. We want to ensure that the public, the travelers, those that use our facilities feel safe and secure.
The Law Enforcement Action Partnership is shifting the conversation on policing and why good policing matters. Let's see just how they're doing it.
What we've seen in the last few years is from Ferguson to the murder of George Floyd is that our communities are demanding that the law enforcement profession change. Part of law enforcement, traditionally, our response to societal problems has been over-policing, which has really damaged police and community relations.
The reason we need LEAP now in policing is we are the only nonpartisan group of criminal justice professionals who focus on solution-oriented policing, not police reform.
It is an organization made up by criminal justice professionals, not just police officers, but prosecutors, defense attorneys, judges, anyone that's interested in making sure that policing and the criminal justice system operates well and operates equitably. And we're able to address issues pertaining to the criminal justice system from multiple different angles.
Now, the Center for Evidence-Based Policing and Reform is developing cutting-edge curriculum and training. Let's head to the University of Mississippi.
As the state of Mississippi, the nation, and the world continues to grapple with systemic issues in the criminal justice system in general and in policing more specifically, there's never been more of an important time to prioritize resources toward being the agent of change. And the Center for Evidence-Based Policing and Reform at the University of Mississippi is uniquely situated to be pioneers and leaders in ushering in the much-needed transformative and sustainable change in policing. While police relations with certain segments of the community have historically been tenuous and strained at times, the source of this mistrust and fear has never been more nationally and internationally recognized. It will take all of us working together to find solutions to this challenge, a challenge which rests at the heart of the Center's mission and Dr. Wes Jennings' vision for the Center.
Up next, The Joyce Foundation is finding new ways to advance racial equity and economic mobility for the next generation. Our tour now takes us to the Great Lakes region.
The goal of the Gun Violence Prevention and Justice Reform Program at the Joyce Foundation is to try and create safe and just communities here in the Great Lakes states. We work with law enforcement on how can we best implement the current gun safety laws that are on the books, whether that be on gun tracing or ensuring that extreme risk protection orders are used and implemented correctly.
We can't be successful working separate from the people that we're serving. Let's be proactive. Let's invest in community and see what are the draws in certain communities that cause an escalating in gun violence, then have strategies to address that.
We have to make sure that we're tracing guns from their origin and holding everybody along the pathway accountable for trafficking guns into the hands of people. And we have to make sure that we prevent those who may have some sort of disability that might render them a threat to themselves or another, don't have access to guns, and we need to work together to do that.
There are numerous committees, divisions and opportunities for IACP members to get involved with the organisation. IACP Senior Project Manager for Professional Development and Engagement, Andrea Watson, is here now with IACP member Jim Marshke to talk about these areas of engagement. Thank you both ever so much indeed for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So let's kick right off. So how can members get engaged with the IACP?
They can get engaged by joining a committee, a section, or a division. That's the best way for them to come on board and learn what IACP has to offer.
And what's the difference between those?
Committee, a member would reach out and they would need to be appointed by an IACP president. To join a section, they're able to do that by paying the dues. And a division you would join based on the size of your agency.
And is it a big time commitment?
There really isn't. There's only two in-person meetings that committee members or section members are expected to attend, and that would be the Policy Council mid-year or the division mid-year, and then the conference, which we're at today.
And are these opportunities just for chiefs?
They're not. We encourage mid-level managers and those aspiring to move up within their agencies to participate because the expertise level comes from a wide range of individuals.
Why do you think it's important for members to become engaged?
What happens is members are able to grow professionally and develop a network, but I also think that it is a return on investment to their agencies, and Chief Marshke can speak to that.
Absolutely. It's not only your personal professional development, your development for your agency, but really for the profession as a whole. When you participate in a section or a committee or in a division, you're giving back to those that are in your profession as well and making it better for all of us.
So my final question is, how do people do it? What's the first step?
The best way to become engaged and to learn what we have to offer is to reach out to membership engagement at participate@theiacp.org.
Perfect. Thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Turning to the Monmouth County Sheriff's Office, where they're the first in New Jersey to hold and maintain 5 national accreditations. Let's see what makes this department shine.
Here at the Monmouth County Sheriff's, we are on the forefront and cutting edge of technology. Our Homeland Security initiatives with technology has changed throughout the years. From street cameras to license plate readers to in-car video, and now body cameras on every officer as mandated by the state of New Jersey. We're the only agency in the state of New Jersey who has a dedicated building toward training. Some of it's virtual, some of it is hands-on and practical. Monmouth County Sheriff's Office is the first to deploy a virtual reality goggle system, which are backpacks worn by officers that allows them to engage the instructors in the virtual 300 machine, which is a big video wall, and it engages in computer-generated simulation with real live audio from the instructors.
This is Officer Tip. How are you doing, officer? Is there a problem?
So that instructors can engage as a human being would in the class. The virtual reality setting that is computer generated brings them into pretty much any scenario that you want to be in.
From one coast to the other now, it's the heart behind the badge that counts. That's the Chula Vista way. Let's head to California to see that motto in action.
What sets Chula Vista apart from other agencies is the relationship that we have with our community. With 282 sworn officers, we have about 118 civilian employees that are all dedicated to working with our community and protecting this community. I say to my employees often that when you invest in your community, they invest in you. We bring in the activist community, and we want our officers to hear the stories that people have experienced with law enforcement so that they have a deeper understanding of why people feel the way that they do. The greatest asset we have is truly our people. If the person behind the technology doesn't share this department's values, then we aren't serving the public in the best way possible. It's the heart behind the badge that truly counts. I've been the chief for 6 years now. Each time I hire someone, I think about how that individual is going to fit into our culture. I think about the heart I'm putting behind that badge.
Staying in California, the San Diego Police Department is getting creative to combat gun violence. Let's take a look.
The way San Diego approaches gun violence is really looking at programs to try to remove firearms before they're used by those that should not have firearms. And our gun violence restraining order is one of those processes that we use to try to take away guns before they're used to harm somebody.
The use of the gun violence restraining order started with the San Diego City Attorney's Office showing us, saying, hey, this is a tool that we can utilize. Let's try to develop a program. Officers will go evaluate a scene or an incident, and they'll determine whether a GVRO it rises to the level where we want a GVRO.
If we believe that somebody is a danger to themselves or to somebody else, we will get a gun violence restraining order. In the state of California, what that allows us to do is to remove a gun from an individual for up to 5 years.
It's been used more often than not as a crisis intervention tool, where they're just suffering some kind of tragedy in their life. In many cases, that's what we provide, with that cooling off period away from the guns, so the situation can be made safe.
They're known as the Five Eyes, the law enforcement agencies from Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the UK and the US. Here's how the law enforcement members from these 5 countries address current and future challenges confronting law enforcement and the security of communities around the globe.
The Five Eyes refers to an alliance of 5 like-minded nations. The alliance originated out of World War II. As a law enforcement arm of the Five Eyes Alliance, the FIAG targets transnational organized crime and serious crime threats that undermine international and domestic security.
For example, if Ray at the FBI had a network, a global network that they were targeting, and there were members of that network coming to Australia, we could work together in partnership to put them in front of a coercive hearing and drag out as much intelligence as possible to help the FBI dismantle that network.
DEA has a tremendous presence overseas, which just underscores the value we place in these partnerships. We must work with them in order to go after and defeat these global criminal enterprises. So that is why we are here. That is why we value tremendously each one of these people up here.
Like many people in this room, and I know partners across here, been absolutely shocked by the levels of child sexual exploitation, but also protecting vulnerable communities in terms of those trafficked to the UK, modern slavery and human trafficking, and the groups that cause real misery to those individuals.
Meth is an epidemic in New Zealand, and it is wreaking havoc, particularly in some of the poor rural communities. And the partners on the stage are incredibly supportive in that space in terms of we always have to follow the money, and to follow the money you need your international partners. You can't just do that at home sitting at the bottom of the South Pacific. We've got to be able to pick the phone up and talk to these folk.
Within our federal mandate, we are primarily focused on transnational organized crime, national security, and cybercrime. So every country has that same kind of 3 priority list, so it tells you something. It also underscores why this is so important that we're here today, and it's a privilege to be part of this Five Eyes law enforcement group with these fine folks. So very happy to be here today. Look forward to the discussion. Thank you.
When it comes to specialized training, Virginia State Troopers are trained to respond to any situation, including the events of January the 6th at the United States Capitol. Let's take a closer look.
There's a different expectation on law enforcement. Everything's becoming more difficult and more challenging, and so we can't train the way we did 20 or 10 years ago. What are we changing to make our training better? On the onset, how are we bringing people and preparing them for 21st century challenges? With the rigors of training and expectations, and we start getting to what I would call our 5 tenets of training. Those 5 tenets are leadership development, interpersonal skills, ability to manage stress, critical thinking and problem solving, and teamwork. Critical thinking, problem solving, leadership, ability to manage stress, all those things are our tenets to not just go out and be a trooper that's good enough, but to be exceptional for when the moment and the stress and the time comes that trooper needs to respond, that they are prepared and ready to serve the Commonwealth and this agency with extreme professionalism and pride.
The Riverside Police Department has developed specialised teams to deal with homelessness and respond to mental health crises. Let's see how they're doing it.
The Riverside Police Department's rich in history. We have a lot of tradition here. A little bit over 20 years ago, we went through major and sweeping reform, building different types of programs and community groups within the department that engage our community even more. Grassroots community members, faith-based community members, business community members. And when you have those relationships developed, it allows you to build trust in your community.
We are using civilian and sworn staff working together on teams that are specially trained to handle different problems that we have within our community, such as individuals experiencing homelessness and mental health crisis.
Typically in law enforcement, we have kind of a culture of speed, like, hey, drop your coffee, we have to go there and handle this issue. And what we try to do is convince our officers to take more time, use better tactics, and save more lives.
We really want to, first of all, remind officers of who they are. They're more than law enforcement officers. They're educators, they're counselors, they're coaches, and their ability to engage their communities and to empower them.
Just this year, the Law Enforcement Suicide Data Collection was launched by the FBI to understand and mitigate situations that eventually lead to suicide. FBI Section Chief Scott Schubert is here in the studio to discuss how this initiative works. Scott, welcome. Thank you very much indeed for joining us today.
Honored to be here.
Let's kick off. Tell us a little bit about the work of CJIS and how you work closely with law enforcement.
Everything we do is working with our local law enforcement and federal partners, providing information to help them in their investigations, to help through collaboration and training and auditing, things like that. We offer biometrics, we offer the National Criminal Instant Background Check, we offer the National Crime Information Center, and the Index National Data Exchange. So there's so much that we do every day to connect with local law enforcement across the country and our intelligence partners.
And one of the initiatives that you're working on is towards suicide prevention because sadly suicide is prevalent among law enforcement, and we've talked a lot about mental health this week. So tell us a little bit about why you think this is such a big issue and what you're trying to do.
So I think it's critical for our profession. When you think about officers who sadly take their life or attempt to take their life, they experience hundreds and hundreds of traumatic incidents throughout their career, where the average citizen may experience 2 or 3. We have to make sure we take care of them, that we have their backs. And collecting the data on these incidents helps us learn from it, helps us tell a story of why it's occurring, and more importantly, how do we stop it? And all this information is on the Crime Data Explorer, so anybody can go to it, and it helps with accountability and transparency within law enforcement.
Well, thank you very much indeed for joining us. We really appreciate it. Really interesting to talk to you, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Summerville Police Department in South Carolina has launched the Dignity Project, something they say is vital in making sure the community's voice is heard. Let's see why they say it's making their department one of the most active police departments in the state. Now we'd like to take a moment and honour some of the past leaders who have left us this year. Former IACP presidents who have served with honour and a commitment to excellence.
Each year, the International Association of Chiefs of Police honors the lives of those we have lost who served the profession as leaders of the association. As we remember and honor those whom we have lost, the IACP honors the lives of past presidents Michael Carroll and Joe Casey. IACP past president Michael J. Carroll Sr. passed away on November 5, 2021 at the age of 78 after spending his entire career in law enforcement. Chief Carroll was known for his dedication to public service. He loved serving his country and the community. He began his extensive 45-year law enforcement career with the Tiffin Township Police Department and continued with the Chester County Detectives and the West Whiteland Township Police Departments in Pennsylvania. He ended his career with the West Goshen Township Police Department as police chief from 1988 until 2011. He was also a graduate of the 109th session of the FBI National Academy class. In 2009, Chief Carroll was elected president of the International Association of Chiefs of Police, where he strove to improve officer safety. Chief Carroll called for the development of a plan to explore and prevent felonious assaults on law enforcement officers. Ultimately, this led to a partnership with the U.S. Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance, in which the IACP announced the official launch of the National Center for the Prevention of Violence Against the Police. During his career, Chief Carroll also served as president of several police chief associations, to include the Chester County Chiefs Association, Southeastern Pennsylvania Police Chiefs Association, and Pennsylvania Chiefs of Police Association. IACP past president Joe Dixon Casey was born on July 31, 1926, and passed away on his 96th birthday on July 31, 2022. Chief Casey was known for his commitment and dedication to the city of Nashville, Tennessee, law enforcement, and his efforts to make life better for those less fortunate. He loved being an integral part of the law enforcement community. Chief Casey served in the police department for nearly 38 years following his appointment as a patrolman in November of 1951. He rose through the ranks and was appointed acting chief of police in November 1973, then permanent chief in May of 1974. He retired in July of 1989. As chief, Casey implemented changes, such as growing the K-9 units and hiring the first woman in the department to serve on patrol. During his career, Joe Casey was a dedicated law enforcement leader who showed great compassion. In 1961, as a sergeant, Casey started the tradition of sharing Christmas baskets with community families in need. That tradition lives on, and Joe Casey was there to help make the first delivery of 2021. He had a love for Special Olympics and personally enlisted the support of Tennessee law enforcement agencies to assist in the program for children and young adults with mental and physical disabilities. Chief Casey served 7 years as president of the Tennessee Association of Chiefs of Police. In 1987, Chief Casey was elected president of the IACP. As president, Chief Casey's collaborative leadership style brought together many different ideas that made lasting changes in the association and enhanced the policing profession. The legacies of Chiefs Michael Carroll and Joe Casey endure through the policing advancements they led and the countless law enforcement professionals they guided throughout their careers. The IACP will be forever grateful to these great leaders and true public servants.
One of the main focal points of this past year has been the IACP's Trust Building campaign, the mission to enhance trust between police agencies and the communities they serve. IACP President Dwight Henninger is in studio with us now to discuss this initiative further. So let's talk about the Trust Building campaign. I mean, the first question, obvious question, is what is it?
Well, the idea is that each community needs to have the trust of their communities, or they're really not going to be successful as a police organization. And so what we're doing is building on the best practices that have been used by many agencies already to help the agencies find ways to work with our relationships on building community trust with each of their citizens.
And what led to it?
Well, after the murder of George Floyd, it was clear that this needed to be a priority. And to overcome the fact that each president has their own priorities. The next 5 vice presidents and I have all agreed that this should be the priority for the organization moving ahead.
I've been doing this job for a long time now, and every chief I've met, and it's been a lot of them, has really understood this about the importance of building relationships with the community and community trust. There can be nothing really more important, can there, in modern day policing?
No, but it's hard and it's easily broken. And so it's incumbent on each officer, deputy, or trooper to be out there every day with the 20 or 30 contacts they have to be building those trusting relationships through one-on-one contacts.
I guess, what do you want the outcomes to be?
I want better relationships between the police and the citizens they serve around the world.
Well, thank you very much indeed again for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Great to be here.
And best of luck with that. So thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been an honor to be a police officer.
That does it for day 3 of the IACP Annual Conference and Exposition. There's still much more to come.
Are really providing comprehensive training that's curriculum-based, metric-based, across the entire landscape of law enforcement.
Tomorrow we sit down with Dwayne Crawford, Executive Director of Noble, to discuss new training opportunities. Plus, we continue our tour across the country, highlighting departments at the forefront of the law enforcement profession. And we'll have all the hits and highlights from tomorrow's General Assembly session. As you head out today, remember, you can always find the latest IACP TV episode right here on the TVs displayed throughout the Convention Centre, on the homepage of the IACP meeting website, back in your hotel rooms on the in-house IACP TV channel. Check us out on your shuttle bus ride to and from the Convention Centre, and as always, find us on our YouTube channel or Twitter feed. We'll see you right back here tomorrow for our final day of IACP TV. Have a great one.